it on one of the Rochester news media. I mean, the pictures, it was like something out of well, one of those reality like cop shows where you see the vehicle going down the road with sparks flying. Yeah, I mean, when his vehicle finally stopped, only had one working wheel. Stand by, stand by. You're on.
Hey guys, it's Tim O'Connor live on November 9th, 2021. I know a lot of you are expecting Larry Sharpe, but Larry Sharpe is traveling all over New York State. Today, guys, you can check out Larry anywhere. He's going to be in Delhi tonight. Right now, he's in Tompkins County, and then he's heading to Madison or Monroe County. So those things are places where you can check him out. And guys, I'm fresh off of the LPNY Freedom Summit, where I got to spend time with some of the most amazing libertarians active and out there doing the job of spreading the message of liberty. And I think it's a big deal that we take the time to share a little bit of information about the LPNY Freedom Summit. But guys, remember, man, my tagline, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's courage to continue that counts. And that's why I'm here subbing in for Larry today. You guys can call in 866 552-1009, 866-552-1009. And a special thank you, as always, guys, to WYSL and WACK for being brave enough to host this concept, right? The free solution. Tim O'Connor, Larry Sharpe, Andrew Hollister, Kevin Wilson. Guys, we're bringing you libertarian messaging, libertarian discussion of the news. And without further ado, guys, let's talk about the LPNY Freedom Summit and some of the people that I met this past weekend. First of all, one of the featured speakers was, of course, the estimable, the dedicated Larry Sharpe. Okay. And Larry, again, doing the full 62. He's visiting every single county all over New York State. Now, he does not have 50 or 60 million dollars like Letitia James to hand out for whatever cause, whatever governmental cause that people want to do. But what he is doing is going around spreading solutions about education, solutions about the free market, solutions about every single problem that we faced in New York State. And guys, let's just cover this. I think we've got to cover this over and over and over and over again. People are literally fleeing New York State by droves, by busloads, by family units. They're heading out of this state. And so taxes are too high, regulations are too oppressive. And a guy like Larry Sharpe is the only person that I've heard that has any understanding of that situation. Okay, so that's an absolute reality. It's something that we've got to talk about. And so when our population is dropping, we lost 2 million people in the last 10 years and more, guys, like literally U-Haul van rental in New York State is 20 to 40% higher than it is in Pennsylvania because so many people are renting U-Hauls and moving stuff out of the state. We need solutions to that. I want solutions to that. I've raised my kids here. I spent my life here. Larry Sharpe, guys, I don't want to just like shill for Larry Sharpe, right? But the reality is Larry Sharpe brought me into this late in life political action. Guys, we can ignore politics. We can ignore political power. We can do our best to make our lives. But politics and political power does not ever ignore you. So when taxes are going up and programs are getting more and more expensive, and we need to come up with creative, real solutions. We need to cut the budget in New York State. We need to lower taxes. We need to bring a sense of entrepreneurship back to New York State. And guys, Larry Sharpe has ideas about that. And that not every single idea that he does do I agree with. Not every single idea is perfect, but not every single idea is flawless. But the reality is that his concentration on solutions, I think is the absolute dynamic that we need. And believe me, guys, when he's taking it to the man. He was in Oneonta today. He stopped in for a little diner breakfast. He wants to hear from people like you. He wants to hear from people like me. And so that's the reality. So Larry Sharpe, great speaker at the LPNY Freedom Summit. Number two, guys, and maybe some of you guys who check out some of the stuff that I do, met Diane Sayer. Last Saturday we did a coffee and freedom summit. I do a gig on Saturday mornings on my Facebook page, and if you want to check that out, please feel free to do so. But Diane and I got together with a couple other great people, Rich Bertel and William Van Helmen. Rich Bertel ran for office, I want to say, not quite as successfully as we would have hoped out in Owego County. William Van Helmen is down in Suffolk County, down on Long Island. And so we got together with Diane Sayer, who, as luck would have it, got to speak at the LPNY Freedom Summit. Now, Diane is a independent candidate for the federal Senate. She wants to run against Chuck Schumer. And I think that is a reality, right? Chuck Schumer, first of all, let's talk about the bravery it takes for libertarians and independents to run for office. And so what Diane is doing, the absolute bravery that she is demonstrating is, first of all, impressive. You guys have heard from me about how I love these altered third way kind of candidates, people that are looking to bust out of this current system that we have in New York State. And Diane Sayer is one of those people, okay? So that right there was a big deal. She gave a very enjoyable presentation about the fact that New York State has fallen behind in energy production, that probably solar and wind may in fact not be the only answer. She's a big fan of nuclear power. She's a big fan of moving forward and understanding that she's not completely comfortable with the narrative about global warming. I think that many of us suffer from some cognitive dissonance when it comes to the discussions about global warming. And so she did a great job presenting those things. Uh, and so, guys, I'm going to recommend, right? Besides Larry Sharpe, you check out Diane Sayer. She's absolutely invigorating, engaging speaker and dedicated to this notion that she can provide a better alternative in New York State politics than Chuck Schumer. And guys, I don't know, like, does anybody doubt that we could provide a better alternative to Chuck Schumer? I mean, I know liberals out there love him, I guess, but like he's getting old. He's getting sometimes, I don't know, he doesn't seem to have the cognitive problems that other people in politics have. But the basic goal of big government first, big solutions from the government, I think that Diane's stepping outside that mold, and I'm going to encourage you guys to check her out. Guys, Scott Horton. All right. Scott Horton. I want to talk a little bit about Scott Horton, okay? And so Scott Horton's a human rights attorney, a journalist. He's a libertarian activist. He's written several books. And so when we talk about Scott Horton and his anti-war podcast and his anti-war positions, he's written several books. If you're my age or close to my age, you kind of lived through this whole era of the Iraqi Gulf War, the 2001 9/11 attacks, and the U.S. global strategy that I think causes nothing but cognitive dissonance. How did we end up in Iraq? Why did we end up in Iraq? What were our goals there? When I talked to a guy like Shane T. Hazel, and guys, I don't know if you ever check out any of my other work, but Shane ran for governor in Georgia, got 140,000 votes. He was a first Marine recon, which is like the Rangers, Green Berets. He's like, it's a big deal, right? He told me a story about how they could go through Ramadi, kicking in doors, chasing down bad guys, get right to the moment of catching a guy like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed or something like that. And then they'd have to call in a photo op to Washington, and Washington would come back with, let's not finish this job. That kind of problem. Scott Horton tied that all together for me in a great speech. Guys, that will be available to you guys in the future at future events like the LPNY Freedom Summit. So I recommend that you check out some of Scott Horton's work. I just had this amazing, incredible, enjoyable weekend, and I want to share as much of it with you as I can. Besides hanging out with the coolest libertarians in New York State, there was some real political proactive kind of thing. Okay, it was enjoyable. And so, guys, I ignored politics. I'm 55. I did my best to build a business. I did my best to raise my kids, and I did my best to basically just complain about politics, just have like annoying, fun like conversations about politics. But now I think it's time that we get off the dime, that we kind of take a positive, proactive look towards our future. So, in addition to Scott Horton, who's, like I said, written books, hosts a radio podcast, hosts has a daily, like weekly talk show kind of debate kind of thing down in New York City. Spike Cohen, the Libertarian candidate for vice president. His beautiful wife, Tasha Cohen, joined all of us at the Empire State Freedom Summit. And again, guys, these things, to hear him talk and to experience this, his personality live was wonderful. Of course, I also watched Thomas Daniel Queter. He's been on the show before. He's been on other podcasts with me. He is a libertarian disability advocate. Okay, and so when we talk about guys like that, when we talk about this reality, people want to say libertarians just want disabled people to die. And Thomas Queter has actually heard that to his face, which I can't believe that somebody can say to him. He is differently able. He is, he's a great philosophical mind, and I think we have a great opportunity to hear him speak. Which, guys, I can hear music in the background. I think we are going to head to a break. I hope you'll join me after this. Thank you all. It's Tim O'Connor, subbing in for Larry Sharpe.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Inside the Taylor Laboratories.
Hey, Tony, what you doing?
A little experiment, Zach. Look what I have under the microscope.
Ugh, what's that?
A sample of indoor air.
How can it be that dirty? Don't AC and furnace filters.
So I sent you a couple emails. Like I said, listen to that song when you can, like, you have nothing else going on and you can really pay attention to all the lyrics.
For clean indoor air.
I'll be shocked if it doesn't give you a good chuckle. And then the other email, and like I said, you can find even more across Rochester news media. But yeah, the Greece police chief apparently supposedly like tossed down like 6 drinks within like less than 2 hours. Maybe it was even less than 2 hours, and then got behind the wheel of his Greece Police Department owned vehicle, and then he struck a guardrail and then continued to drive on 3 tires with like the right front end all smashed, and then and he's driving down the road with sparks flying and went several more miles, and then when his vehicle finally died, he called it in that he struck a deer.
Has your best interest in mind when
and the 911 audio, I mean, you can hear him listening. Oh, you struck a deer.
But don't take my word.
Yeah.
They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, get the professional.
Yeah, but you know what's worse is 3 officers have been suspended for trying to brush it under the rug.
That's 585
Stand by.
3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
a free solution.
All right, guys, it's Tim O'Connor, and I am back from break. It is November 9th, 2021. It's your lunchtime libertarian politics discussion. And so before the break, I was talking about, you know, Thomas Daniel Queter and what a brave soul he was, and the fact that the LPNY Freedom Summit at the Collegian in Hotel in Syracuse was just an absolute blast. There was, I don't know, probably 150 people there. We had a great time. We had great speakers. We had an entire roundtable discussion with libertarians that have been elected to office. We had a discussion about libertarians that have run for office. As you guys know, I crazily ran for New York State Senate, District 51 last year, and I had a blast, guys. I had an absolute blast doing it, putting together some events, putting together some concepts, and having regular discussions about this political freedom and the state of freedom in New York State. So I met some great people. I met some proactive people. You guys met people like Brian LaRusso. You've met people like Rich Bertel. You've met Thomas Daniel Queter. You've met Jim Dayton on this show, Dwayne Whitmer on this show. Guys, Brenda Hansen, the lady that got Cattaraugus County declared, who led the charge to get Cattaraugus County declared a constitutional county, has spent time with me doing live broadcasts, because this is, I think, what one of the pathways forward that we have to take. We have to get invested in, because I got to tell you, I dreaded this, guys. I'm not kidding. I dreaded getting involved in politics. I dreaded the notion that I wanted to run for office, and I've run for office a couple times. Because I won president of the class in 6th grade. I won vice president of the class in 10th grade. I was vice president again in 11th grade. I won the Vocational Professional Award for BOCES, and I was president of BOCES. And guys, I was president of my senior class. So I've won like 4 or 5 big elections. Not even kidding, guys. These were big, huge success stories in my life. Just kidding. I mean, those were fun and those were great. So I have some experience being elected. I have some experience popularizing things, okay, and having some fun. And that, guys, is what part of these things should be all about, is having fun. Because we run into situations where we have conversations with people, and I see too much, or in my opinion, I see too much, and maybe you'll understand this too, okay? We get into what I want to call this dynamic of arguing with each other in hopes of proving people wrong. And I want to be very clear about something. I have never, guys, and I've been in a lot, hundreds of arguments, guys. I mean, I've been divorced. I've had relationships dissolved. I've been in hundreds of arguments. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, as a 55-year-old man, I have never, ever won an argument. Now, when it comes back to this, I have never lost conversations, guys. I have plenty of enjoyable conversations with lots of great people that don't always agree with me. So when it comes right down to it, guys, you don't win arguments. You don't win by proving somebody to be a hypocrite. You don't win their support. You don't find anything to collaborate on. And that is a dynamic about politics that I proactively want to change. So we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers in a little bit, but I just want to, number one, once again, thank WYSL out near Rochester, New York, WACK in the beautiful Newark, New York, not Newark, New Jersey, for offering me, Larry, Kevin, all the other people that have joined us. Sean Hannon has joined us on the show. Thank them for, number one, offering us a platform to share libertarian views. Number two, giving us the opportunity to discuss to a broader audience and maybe what we normally reach out on our podcast, the opportunity to discuss issues of freedom and liberty, and the notion that perhaps we can come up with free solutions like electing Larry Sharpe, or help ranked choice voting. What if Larry Sharpe runs New York State? He comes in second. Guys, that would be big nationwide news that would have an impact across the country, okay? Now, tonight in Oneonta, New York, guys, and I know like I sound like just an advertising guy today, but tonight in Oneonta, New York, at the Oneonta, New York, and guys, this is the heart of baseball. We're minutes from Cooperstown. Maybe some of you guys watching online can see my baseball shirt on. Guys, we're in the heart of New York. We have a special event going on at the Oneonta Southside Oneana Diner and Grill. Thomas Daniel Creeder, again, I was mentioning what a brave soul he is, a libertarian disability advocate. If you can hear this and you can make it to Oneonta, New York, join us for a meal, for some fun, and some great discussion. Guys, we have some amazing speakers slated. Guys, Cody Anderson, who has also joined me on this show. He's the chair of the LPNY. I'm the chair of the Otsego County Libertarian Party. I'm going to be speaking. Cody's going to be speaking. Donald Garrison's going to be speaking. I'm hearing a rumor, perhaps Dwayne Whitmer, guys from your area, is going to be joining us down here in Oneonta tonight. Larry Sharpe's over in Delhi at a non-competing time, so you can technically do both. And Oneonta and Delhi are about 12 miles apart, 15 miles apart. But in honor, Thomas Daniel Creeder, we're having a fundraiser for him tonight at the Southside Diner and Grill in Oneonta, New York. His campaign to fix New York State, his campaign to fix disability advocacy, his campaign for freedom, and to talk about how a libertarian can positively impact the lives of disabled people is something that every single person should at least take some time to check out. And guys, if you're online, if you want to call in, the phone number 866-552-1009, 866-552-1009. And remember, we're live all over the place. We're going to be live. We're going to be in podcast form, which is available on the WYSL.com page. So, in addition to Dwayne Whitmer and Thomas Daniel Creeder, but wait, there's more, guys. Spike Cohen, again, I mentioned he was at the LPNY Freedom Summit, is going to be in Oneonta, New York tonight. Get at me if you want details. It's 7 p.m. And guys, it's a big deal. This is a rare event. And maybe we'll see more of these because, guys, if one state of all the states needs more libertarians making impact and talking about politics, we've got to admit it's New York State. We absolutely have to admit it's New York State. So we've got a lot of people doing the hard work, spreading the fun. And so now it's up to you guys out there, like, to take part in this positive action, okay? Positive action, learning about how a libertarian can be a disabilities advocate. Guys, you can't just be a libertarian. You can't just say this is the way that it's got to be, right? There's steps and goals and sharing a libertarian philosophy that can further these discussions. So, one last time, guys, tonight, Cody Anderson, Tim O'Connor, Don Garrison, Thomas Daniel Creeder, Spike Cohen, the Oneonta Southside Diner and Grill at 7 o'clock tonight. So I say I got some viewers out there online, guys. If you leave a comment, I'd be glad to discuss things with you. If you want to call in and talk about this Aaron Rodgers kerfuffle, I'd love to have a conversation about that. So, guys, here we go again, right? Here we go again with this notion that, number one, because he's a celebrity, what his particular views on COVID and the vaccine, and even more importantly than that, because, and I'm going to carry this conversation over through the break, but that his particular views about whether to get the vaccine or not, and then everyone's views about whether he got the vaccine or not, because none of these people are scientists. None of these people, because some of them are doctors, and doctors I found can be very pro-vaccine, very anti-vaccine. Deal with that, okay? That's real science, and that's how we form better science, okay? So when we get into Aaron Rodgers saying, I've been immunized, so I don't have to follow certain COVID protocols. I get it, man. He wants this to be none of people's business, all right? And actually, I'll be perfectly honest, so do I. I don't want this to be anybody's business. I want this to be an individual decision about whether you decide the vaccine is right for you. So that's what Aaron Rodgers did. And so basically, I think more than what Aaron Rodgers did, I think we should talk about how people reacted to what Aaron Rodgers did. So he's like, oh, hey, guys, it's the bottom of the hour. We're coming up on a break. Remember, listen to the sponsors, check out our sponsors, and your likes, your comments, and your shares. It's Tim O'Connor, Free Solution.
Fly the flag, stand for freedom. AM 1040.
No, that's fine because it's nice having the music trail going to break.
Here's the latest forecast.
Yeah, because see, the bottom break is a hard break, and I have to join the automation when the automation fires. But the quarter-hour breaks can float, so I usually just let the music run for like 10 seconds. So, but yeah, the bottom and top, when you hear the music, it's good to like wrap up. I mean, like the end of the show, as I've told you before, the music's only 30 seconds. So, like, you have to really like, okay, thanks, bye. No, but you do fine. When you hear the music at the end of the show, just remember, go like 15, no more than 20. But this bottom break is longer. This is the 5-minute break. So if you have to hit the bathroom, do it now.
New York Governor Hochul held a press conference announcing a new state abortion tourism campaign.
Yeah, as we get older, we never pass up a bathroom.
Safe harbor for those seeking abortion care. Governor Hochul insisted during the campaign launch, quote, "The rights of those seeking abortion services will always be protected here," saying, "Lady Liberty is here to welcome you with open arms," end quote. Governor Hochul appears to be using the power of her office and taxpayer funds to actively promote abortion tourism. This RealAbortionNews.com update is sponsored by Compass Care.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Introducing Rock On Harley-Davidson and Rock On Power Sports, West Henrietta Road. Shop the greatest selection of legendary Harleys and save big on a wide array of used bikes. And Rock On Power Sports has rides from Honda, Kawasaki, and Yamaha. Rock On has a helpful staff to save you big money. The Rock On Service Department has expert technicians and a great supply of parts to get and keep you on two wheels. The Service Department has winterizing specials right now. Call for details. WYSL listeners get $500 off used motorcycles while supplies last. Rock On has side-by-sides, ATVs, and jet boats too. Anything that's fun and goes fast. On and off-road and on the water, shop the all-new Rock On first. Rock On Harley-Davidson and Rock On Motorsports, 2600 West Henrietta Road. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Call 424-2120. Visit rockonharleydavidson.com.
What does it mean to bank locally with Tompkins? It means keeping your money in your community with a team of neighbors to guide you through big decisions and milestones, plus all the convenience of our mobile app, where you can manage your account, deposit checks remotely, send money to family and friends, even turn your card off if it gets misplaced, then back on when you find it. Ready to bank locally with the team at Tompkins? Visit Tompkins Bank of Castile online or at a branch to get started. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
An experienced professional with more than 15 years in dentistry, Dr. David Olivo welcomes new patients to his family practice at 2005 Lyle Avenue. At the office of Dr. Olivo, you'll discover...
So, Tim, I know we got two more 15-second spots before this break is done, but we need to find some sponsors for the show because right now our contract is ending the end of this month with Andrew. He did agree to stay on, but at a lower rate. But what I'd like to try and do is powwow with you. If there's any businesses down your way or in the southern tier that you have connections with, I'll be happy to call on them and sell them the concept of doing the show.
All right.
I mean, we're talking like if we can get a couple at like $250 a month, we can make up the difference. So, but let's concentrate on the show. We'll talk more. Thanks.
A free solution.
And welcome back. It's me, Tim O'Connor, live on A Free Solution. And I guess some of you out there on the internet are getting a little extra bonus content, which I think is great. I hope you're enjoying the fact that you actually get to kind of participate in the nuts and bolts of the show. And I hope it doesn't bother you. So remember, guys, the likes, the comments, the shares. The guys, call in if you want to. Again, the number is 866-552-1009. 866-552-1009. And guys, again, big, huge thank you going out to WYSL and WACK for having the guts and the courage to discuss libertarian politics. If, guys, you want to participate on a different level, if you want to advertise on this show, if you guys want to do things, take a more proactive stance. Some of you Bitcoiners out there, right? It's time for you to make an impact on politics. And you guys have heard me joke about it and all that stuff. I'm not kidding, man. If you've got some money to kick around, it's time to help people like Larry Sharpe. It's time to help people like Tim O'Connor. It's time to help shows like A Free Solution. It absolutely is a fact that, guys, free speech is money, man. And I hate to say it, it's an absolute reality that we have to deal with. So, guys, before the break, we were talking about this whole issue of Aaron Rodgers claiming, guys, that he was immunized against COVID-19. Immunized. Guys, I don't know. He's just parsing words like the government does to us every single day. All right. That's an absolute, guys. I don't want to rant about that, but I also want to tell you our politics, our media, guys, not A Free Solution, guys, but your CNNs and your Foxes of the world, okay? They parse words in a fashion that stimulates your id, that avoids consequences for their actions. And so, guys, when we take a look at the reaction, who in their right mind can blame Aaron Rodgers for not being completely forthcoming when you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar lecturing him about being a liar, when you got Terry Bradshaw lecturing him about being a liar, and then, guys, calling ivermectin horse medicine. And guys, none of this stuff makes the written media, okay? You see this stuff on Twitter. You occasionally hear it on the radio. You hear it on stations like WYSL, okay? When that's the reality that we're facing, all right? That's a problem. It wasn't any of Terry Bradshaw's business. Aaron Rodgers' actions have consequences. His previous sponsorship fell to the wayside. We'll see what State Farm decides to do. But here's the reality. He was immunized. He tested positive for COVID. And so when we come up with statistics, guys, I want to tell you more. You've heard me lecture about statistics, but when someone says it's 7 times more likely for an unvaccinated person to get COVID than to not get COVID, they are not. Okay, that is not a viable, valuable statistic to you. I don't even know if it's true, okay? We don't even know how they measure that metric. Is it 0.001 versus 0.007? I mean, those are the numbers that are important. What is your chances of catching COVID if you're vaccinated? What are the chances of you catching COVID if you're unvaccinated? That can help you make real decisions. And guys, if they start giving out that information, if they start talking about that information, what your actual likelihood of catching COVID or catching a severe case of COVID is, I'm going to tell you the whole conversation will probably change. But when they can easily sit back and say things like it's 7 times more likely that you're going to get this, or 15 times more likely that you're going to get hospitalized from a case of COVID if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, guys, that kind of thing is exactly what's wrong with the mainstream media communication, okay? Because and believe me, guys, there's libertarians that are like pro-vaccine. Kevin is pro-vaccine. He's pro-mRNA technology. All that stuff's cool. I'm cool with that, all right? I'm not. I want to be very clear. Not at all anti-vaccine, okay? You make your personal decision about whether you should take the old style vaccine, which I believe is the Pfizer vaccine, or the new style mRNA messenger vaccine. And guys, I want to tell you something about mRNA. I think that the fears about manipulating our mRNA are absolutely overblown. Okay. When I see people reacting with fear to a vaccine, that's also not the metric I want to deal with. But of course, being afraid of losing your job, being afraid of being criticized all over mainstream media, those are very real things, very real problems, very real issues. Okay. Those things are problematic. So we modify our mRNA practically every day, guys. If you start working out, you modify your mRNA. If you start eating healthier food, you modify your mRNA. We do not need to be afraid of an mRNA modifier. The reality is that it probably is a proactive step forward in management of disease. Okay, but are we ready for it to be forced on us? Are we ready for it to be nationwide forced on us? Are we ready for people to lose our jobs? And guys, I don't know, you heard me last week on Friday. I'm totally going to apply for an OSHA COVID inspector job. I'm pretty sure the tips are going to be incredible. Guys, I'm just saying. So unfortunately, guys, as a joke, unfortunately, that whole system has been put on hold. And guys, I think that's another conversation I want to have. But I do want to bash Terry Bradshaw for calling ivermectin horse medicine. All right. Now, there are studies that are being done. There are studies being done about ivermectin. It's interesting that we can have one scientist say that the vaccines seem to be safe and that another scientist say that ivermectin doesn't work. Ivermectin has been a billions and billions and billions of doses of ivermectin have been issued for lots of diseases. Yes, does it cure parasitic infections in horses? Yeah. Okay, yeah, it does. All right. But to label ivermectin, it won the Nobel Prize in 2015 for treating things like river blindness, for being safe for human beings to ingest to cure themselves of certain style diseases. It to call it horse dewormer and think that you ended an argument, that's embarrassing. So, guys, I want to be clear. The last place I go to for medical advice is the world of sports, is the great big wide world of sports. That's literally, guys, none of us should be going to the wide world of sports for medical advice. I don't like Aaron Rodgers' medical advice. I don't mind that he parsed words. I don't mind that he didn't want the COVID vaccine. Guys, it's a choice issue, a bodily autonomy. And guys, the bodily autonomy is probably the last thing that we have, man. We're centralizing power every place else. Like, if you don't want the vaccine, don't take the vaccine. If you want the vaccine, take the vaccine. Don't base your decisions on fear and don't base your decisions on numbers like 7 times more likely or 15 times more likely. Don't those things are nonsense. Talk to your doctor about whether the vaccine is right for you. Okay, so libertarians take heat. I'll point out, I am not at all anti-vaccine. My kids took the vaccine. I had a health condition that arose in 2008 and I also, so that health condition, I take an mRNA modifying medicine. So those things are reasons for me to consider it logical at this time to not take the vaccine. That should be the end of the story. That should be the end of the discussion. So, guys, stay out of that debate about Aaron Rodgers or not. Just get in there and have some fun. Get your hands dirty. I don't care. But the reality is, guys, that the last place you want to go to for medical advice is Aaron Rodgers, is Terry Bradshaw, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and guys, frankly, Tim O'Connor is the last place you can go to for medical advice. I'll enjoy offering my views and takes on statistics. That's one thing, okay? But I am not actually offering you medical advice. What I guess I am. All right, discuss it with your doctor, man. Is taking the vaccine right for you, or isn't it? It's a simple decision. And guys, I want us to be nicer to each other. I want us to have conversations, not arguments, right? So those are the things that are absolutely, unequivocally the most important piece of this puzzle. When we come back, guys, we're going to head shortly into a break. I got like one more thing. I want to talk a little bit about cognitive dissonance, and I want to talk a little bit about, I'll do some reminding about tonight's events and how libertarians are being one of the more proactive parties out there and available right now. So here's some music in the background. I want to thank Bob. I want to thank WACK. I want to thank WYSL. I'll see you after the break.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their.
Did my comments to you go over your web stream?
Maybe it's their ability to give it a truly.
Because only the program feed should be sending audio to that.
It's a local small business that builds great relationships.
Okay, well, either way, if people are listening online, if they want to advertise on a free solution, call 585-346-3000. Ask for Bob.
They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals.
346-3000.
The best in Rochester.
Ask for Bob D'Angelo.
Plus Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals,
yeah, I mean,
Simple Tech Innovation.
Yeah, and
a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Need help with health insurance? The Greece Regional Chamber provides assistance with health insurance for businesses, nonprofits, families, and individuals throughout our region. We pride ourselves on the personalized service that we provide for our
yeah, and what we would look at would be $250 a month, minimum commitment of 3 months. We would produce a spot at no extra cost. Spot would air on each show Monday through Friday. So you add it up. I mean, they're getting a minimum of 20 shows a month, a little more.
Through the New York State of Health, the official health plan marketplace. Again, you do not need to live or work in Greece to utilize our brokerage services. We serve the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region of New York State. Visit greecechamber.org to sign up for one of our free health insurance information sessions or schedule an appointment with one of our licensed brokers. Call 585-227-7272. 585-227-7272.
Yeah. And where you live, are there any Pudgy's pizzas close by?
Slow, unreliable networks and servers.
Yeah, there's a few up and down Route 17, I-86 corridor. There's one in Canandaigua. I think there's still one in Rochester, but that came to mind for being in the southern tier. But yeah, I threw it out to Bob Savage. He thinks he might know someone, at least someone who was affiliated with them. So I'm between you, me, and if Kevin can throw anyone else out, we want to keep this going.
Won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a.
And we love you. So all right, stand by.
3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
And it's Tim O'Connor once again, your normal Thursday host. And normally, guys, I tape the show because I want to have my whatever minimal impact it is on the future of politics in New York State. And maybe it's not minimal, maybe it's not. I'm hoping that it's not minimal. Probably, again, let's talk about this fact that you can advertise on this show. Let's talk about the fact that our advertisers are what makes this show successful. So, guys, if you want to grow your personal audience, why don't you get them at Bob? I put the phone number up right there. It's 585-346-3000. Oh, and guys, I'm horrible at typing. It's 585-346-3000. Ask for Bob. He can help you out. He can come up with some creative advertising packages to help keep this show going. And guys, we'll figure something out. Trust me. All right. Because I've been talking about Larry Sharpe. All right. And so I posted on the screen on the internet, guys. I know it's bonus content on the internet, and I apologize to the radio listeners for that. Okay. But the reality is, Larry Sharpe traveling all over New York State. If you want to keep up with what he is doing and where he is going to be, it's LarrySharpe.com/events/. Type that into your browser. You will know as much about where he's going to be as I do. So, guys, I don't know which way to go right now. We talked about Aaron Rodgers. We talked about the ivermectin. We talked about the fact that literally the fact that the last place I go to for medical advice is celebrities, okay? And the last place I go to for advice about anything is cancel culture, okay? They we have devolved in society to this emotional reactionary, and guys, it's the left wing, it's the right wing, even inside the Libertarian Party, there's a little bit of it. So even to my fellow libertarians, guys, turf wars are worthless. Okay, they're useless. I think some people get to the Libertarian Party from the left. Some people get to the Libertarian Party from the right. And guys, I think you can tell by my mode of conversation that I got to the Libertarian Party from the right. But there are things, what I would call cognitive dissonance, okay, where things simply do not add up to my perception of reality. All right. And so, and let's go back to last summer, man. We had the COVID lockdown. We had people freaking out, people angry. And guys, the government response to COVID's been a disaster. We got kids who are at no, guys, like, look, this is a statistic I will stand behind. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Schools are not super spreaders for children. There's no reason for them to be wearing masks. There's no reason for them to be masked up when they're playing sports. Unless, guys, if you want to reach out to me and prove me wrong, do it. All right? Do it. I'm looking for that information every single day. Guys, I don't see why our children are masked, especially young children who have no reason to. I don't get it. We need to stop it. That's it. All right. So we're going to talk about cognitive dissonance, where things don't match up, and we're going to go back to last summer. And we're going to talk about George Floyd, guys, and guys, I'm going to run out of time on this subject probably, but then I got some other things I want to jump around to. But that's one thing I'm good at, guys, jumping from subject to subject. Let's be honest. All right. So George Floyd. All right. The Black Lives Matter versus the blue. Okay. Every single person, you could take a moment, and realize that some part of your argument, some part of your side, some part of the position you took, all right, whatever it was, man, some pieces of it had to inflict some cognitive dissonance on you. You had to say, gosh, I want to be angry and upset about this, but some pieces about what I'm saying don't make sense. And guys, that's how they rule us. That's how they divide us. That's how they grow budgets. That's how they hurt us. That's how they manipulate us, and that's how they grow centralized power of government. Okay? Your cognitive dissonance, when it starts speaking to you, I'm going to ask you guys from here on out, make yourselves a promise, all right? Lean into your cognitive dissonance. Get to the bottom of what's bothering you when you say back to blue, when you say Black Lives Matter. Both of those things are absolutely true. Okay? Police have a dangerous job, especially in certain, I want to say, it's more often for your job as a police officer to be dangerous in an urban area, okay? In rural New York, it's more dangerous for a game warden to run across unsavory characters. But the odds of bad things happening still relatively low. So, do Black Lives Matter? Oh my God. Well, of course they do. All right. Did the Democratic Party co-opt Black Lives Matter and not deliver on any of its promises? I think that's also true, guys. I think that Black Lives Matter, especially some of the New York City Black Lives Matters, realize that the issues that they were championing, did not bear fruit. And so back the blue, Black Lives Matter. It was the perfect example of how government rules us by how they divide us, because there's so much for all of us to agree on in that situation. There's so much for all of us to take pride in, okay? That's police matter, black people matter. Let's figure this stuff out, right? And do I think that there's a pathway forward when the current duopoly invests its messaging in those two things? It's this way or that way. It's this way or that way. Because I've spent time, I reach out to my fellow libertarians that may lean left, that maybe got here from the left, and I say, guys, let's not be binary. Let's not do that. And they can reach out to me and say, Tim, you're kind of you sound like a conservative lunatic, guys. And when it comes to like Second Amendment, guys, I'm way more pro 2A than I got your average, almost any Republican. Guys, we had a great conversation on the show yesterday between Whitmer and Kevin about how the whole pistol permitting regime should be challenged. Guys, and I know that people are afraid of guns. I get it. So that scares people. So that argument gets set aside. It's just gone. I don't know. So Black Lives Matter, Act the Blue. When you feel cognitive dissonance when you're on a side in that discussion, lean into it. All right. I don't know, guys. We're coming up towards the end of the show. We've got a few more minutes because I want to put this out there. Been watching a fun show. It's season 2 is about to come out. It's called The Great. All right, and it's on Hulu, and it helps settle, because I love shows that help settle my cognitive dissonance, that help show me how people behave and how people that are in power are very human. So I've been watching this whole show called The Great, and it's about 18th century Russia, and we talk about Catherine the Great and Peter the Great and Peter the Great's children, how Catherine ended up taking over Russia. And she was like a progressive and at the time, like a complete and total liberal. And she did all sorts of cool stuff. It's a show, guys, that
2
you should
minutes.
check out. All right. So it's a show that you should check out. It's hilarious. Obviously, like every historical show, it takes liberties with actual real history. It takes liberties with actual real things. I had a great conversation about how we started dealing with smallpox back in the 1800s, and how variolation, how a live virus, and guys, of course they did it. It was genius, right? They were drawing a parallel to current times about how variolation was frowned upon, how people were afraid of it back in the day, and it just tied in very nicely to this whole vaccine controversy. And guys, it gives you time, like, okay, variolation isn't a vaccine, just so you know. It's similar. It has some interesting things, but you should check it out. You should check out this show. You should talk about how they used to. Okay, you should check out how they used to, like, during smallpox
1 minute.
outbreaks. They used to just burn the servants, man, and that's a fact. People in power will do whatever it takes. And guys, we're coming up on the end of the show. Please feel free. I'm emceeing an event tonight at the Oneonta Southside Grill and Diner. Spike Cohen, Thomas Daniel Queter, perhaps Dwayne Whitmer, definitely Donald Garrison, definitely Cody Anderson, and guys, the libertarians are doing the work, and we're having the fun. And we just want the opportunity for you to join us. Thanks everybody for joining me. Thanks Larry Sharpe for letting me sub in on your show. Maybe the Leave Us See Larry Sharpe tonight. I don't know. Guys, have a great day. Take care.
All right, we'll talk to you Thursday, or unless you text me the night before. That's been working out really good. Thanks. You're welcome. Bye.
When you feel sick for whatever reason, don't wait to get help.